Rob from Engineering Guys. Let's take a look at some of the crashes again, low side in the end. And this is a kid who was really fast. He was top 3, and he was fastest yesterday. But I mean, Teague Hobbs looked like he might be the cut above the field.
Jody Berry came out. You can see this next right-hander looks like he kind of just gets over the curve a little bit on the inside there, and down he went.
A little chatter to scatter there for him. The 717 still was fast enough to start on pole. They did have to do some repairs, not only to the Bison leathers, but also to that bike.
Hey everybody, it's Rob. I am Trackside at Virginia International Raceway. It's round 2 of the Moto America season 2021, and these guys have kept me busy trackside because, as you may know, I am trackside at every Moto America event and a lot of regional track days and club races. Tasha, myself, the whole family, we are at a different racetrack almost every single weekend, and we try to help our riders not just look good by touching up and cleaning up their suits, but also doing some stitch work and patch work to keep them safe when they get back out on the track after an incident. Now, this weekend at VIR, I actually just picked up a couple suits from some of our riders that went down in Twins Cup qualifying 2. I'm running those back to the pits to get cleaned up, and I wanted to show you some of these suits before and after, before I even touch them, before I clean them up, and then a little bit of after I touch them up and get them back out there on the track. But before we do that, let's take a look at the crash boxes and the sewing machine that we use trackside to keep everybody looking good and staying safe. All right, so if you are a track enthusiast or a racer, you probably have a crash box. When you crash your motorcycle, bring it back in the pits, you got a little box that has a bar end in it, some levers, a clip-on, rear sets, nuts, bolts, stuff like that. Well, we have a crash box for race suits. I've actually got a couple of these. One of them has an airbrush kit in it and some scrub brushes, stuff like that. This one is the cosmetic box that also has all the colors of the rainbow in terms of paint. I've got brushes and sandpaper, everything to to kind of bring suits back to life. I've got leather dye, soft scrub brushes, lots of paints and stuff. So this is the cosmetic box. If you crash, you're structurally good, then we just come back, we touch you up, and get you back out there on the grid looking like new again. Now, in the case of a cosmetic repair, that's easy, but when it comes to structural stuff, then we have to go to Plan B. And Plan B is old Bessie, our 100-year-old Singer sewing machine that rides along in the RV here. So with Tony's suit, we're going to use Plan B on some of the stitches, but then most of it is just going to be crash box touch-up stuff. So let's take a look at what we're going to do to get this suit cleaned up and ready for the Moto America weekend. So Tony Storniolo's suit, once again, he had a big high side, came down on his shoulder here, and you can see some of the seams were just worn off, so we're going to replace that stitching there. You can see a little bit of the Kevlar. We put Kevlar backing behind all this accordion panel on the Thor Point 2 suits, and that's just poking out there. So we're just going to stitch that up, make it structural again, but everything good there. See where he came down hard on the speed hump. The color actually transferred over when he slid onto the black. Other than that, just a little color touch up. Come down here, we're going to re-dye the hips. You can see the seam repair I made on the last crash still there. So we're just going to kind of clean this puppy up and do some restitching. Very quick fix. Take a look at the front of the suit. Again, just more cleanup. Everything's structural. He wore down the knee grip there, sliding on it, but it's cosmetic, so easy repairs all around. I'm going to use the RV shower here and wash this thing up, and then get to clean up and recolor. Another easy fix on a big crash. Okay, so I've got the suit here. After just a little bit of water, you can see it already looks way better. Got all the dirt off of it, and it just starts looking a lot nicer. So now we can really assess what we've got going on. Of course, we knew we've got a couple stitches up here that need to be repaired, and we'll do that. And obviously, we've got some repainting, but all I did really was sprinkle some water on it and use this scrub brush. I just kind of put a little bit of water in an area, scrub, and then just rinse it really quickly. That way I don't saturate the suit with too much water, because we want it to dry out before we do the painting and conditioning, that sort of thing. So once I got it inside, I used a microfiber towel and I just wiped off the excess and really opened these accordion panels up to try to get in there and get all the grass and mud and little grains of sand out of there. So just kind of cleaning those. But anyway, it's looking good. Now we're going to condition it and recolor it, and I'll show you the final product. Should be ready to go for TV. All right, so a lot of my weekend consists of cleaning up crash damage. So this is one of our riders. His suit, he just crashed out there. And so I'm gonna clean it up first with the hose and a brush, get the mud on and dirt off of it. And then I'm gonna go in and kind of touch it up and paint it. My job is to make sure that these guys look good for their sponsors, and most of all, that their suit is safe for the next crash. So I'm always chasing them down. Like I knew Jason crashed out there, so I went and chased him down and grabbed his suit just to make sure that we are good. I know there's one little stitch I got to put up here, but structurally, the suit looks fine. So I'm just going to clean it up, put a stitch in it, and paint it. And that's pretty typically all the damage we have to repair on these. It's easy. It's pretty fun, honestly. I actually enjoy doing this. It's a little bit therapeutic, but it also makes me feel good, making sure that these guys are safe and they look good. So typically when we're at the racetrack and I'm here, I don't charge them anything for this stuff either. I just do it. It's kind of a added service for our riders to say thank you for going with us. So you see over here, like this stitch, where he slid on his arm and it wore through this 2 stitches, but there's another seam underneath. So it's structurally, it's pretty good, but I'm still gonna restitch those, of course. But that's just an example of, the things that we do. Double stitching seams, triple stitching in those structural areas, make sure that they stay safe. But these guys, they got enough stuff to worry about, getting the bike ready to go back out. And a lot of times they don't think about their suits or their gloves. They just are paying attention to the bike. And they get ready to go back out and they realize, oh man, my suit's got a bad stitch, or it's got a hole in it even. So my job is to go over, grab those suits, grab their gloves, and make sure they're safe. So they just focus on the bike and themselves. I take care of the gear. Seems to work out pretty good.
Looks like one rider down. He's all right walking over towards
It's like
the
Jason Waters, maybe.
air fence, and that was in that final turn. So he was cooking it pretty good if he went off there. Those Bison Leathers doing their job. Hard, and I think he was able to shut it down, and I think.
Oh, and that's Cooper Mcdonald that's also gone down.
That's Cooper Mcdonald. That's a different rider that we saw earlier. That's Kevin Olmedo's bike. Kevin injured. I think he injured himself in a motocross accident. Oh, and there's the tumble you don't want. Ooh, man.
And that looks like it was the same place that Liam Grant went down.
And boy, he got up running too, because if it can happen to you, it can happen to somebody else. And he's just Altus Motorsports.
Oh, now we see it from a different angle. Dear me, he definitely took a tumble. But I tell you, look at that. He was up on his feet and looking for the bike before he'd even stopped.
It's good to be young, and he's more fit than he had been. Lost a lot of weight trying to get ready for the racing season. Altus picked him up yesterday in qualifying 22nd.
We're here at Road Atlanta, and qualifying 2 Supersport just finished. Cooper Mcdonald had a huge crash, and I have his leathers here. I'm going to take a look at them. I just want to show you kind of how they stand up to a high-speed crash. So you see the shoulder, that panel took a brunt of the impact and the slide, so that'll be an easy repair. This external Kevlar slider did its job on that seam, kept it all together, and pretty much everything else is just dirty. You know, all structural seams on the suit are good all the way down to the knees. So all safety items did their job. If you flip the suit over, I want to show you this. This is the Stingray slider on the seam, and you can see it took a really good slide actually, but these things are almost impenetrable. So that protected the main seam on the hip, and the back of the suit is just really, really dirty. So as you can see in the crash video, he went for quite a ride, but suit is totally good. I'm just going to use this water spigot and wash it off, give it a good conditioning, and he'll look good for race number 1. All right, everybody, I am back with Cooper's suit here. I did a quick rinse and a light brush on it just to kind of get a feel for where we are. You can see that metal knee plate did a great job. I'm going to go ahead and just restitch this seam here. Even though there is a secondary layer of leather under there, I'm going to, of course, stitch that up. Got the sewing machine on standby, so I might as well. Also up here, I'm going to put a little patch over this seam, but everything else is structurally good on this arm. As you can see, most of the crash damage cleaned up. We've got another Barkcon patch, so we'll go ahead and put that on. If we flip over to the back of the suit, it's pretty much perfect. So really, a black cowhide suit, this shows you, you know, what a black cowhide suit does. I always recommend to people, if you want a suit that's going to last you a long time, look good for a long time, you can't go wrong with this. Of course, cooling is the only thing with a black suit. It is a little bit warm at times, so just something to think about. But we're going to get Cooper conditioned. I'm going to put this puppy on the hang dry, have it all dried out for him, and ready to go for Supersport race number 1. Look for him out there. All right, everybody, so there you have it. Several different types of crashes, and you can see how the Bison gear held up. Hopefully this video helps make your decision for your next gear purchase. Hopefully it's Bison. After all, it's not just the gear, it's not just the branding, it's the fact that our family truly lives and breathes this sport, and we have a passion for keeping you safe and making sure that you look 100% when you're on track every time. My wife Tasha and I are at a different racetrack almost every weekend, along with our 2 kids. We're in the RV full time, and we've made a lot of sacrifices for this lifestyle. We do this for the community. So yeah, we have to make money, but we're here for you guys. We want to make sure that we have a personal connection with you, and you know who you're dealing with, and you can expect to see us at least once a year, hopefully. So anyway, we appreciate everybody watching. We appreciate the love and support on our social media. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. It means a lot to us. And click that bell for notifications, because we try to do at least 1 new video every week. So lots of good content. Also, we have a blog that's supplementing this video. It'll be at bisontrack.com. Check it out. We've got a lot of great blogs there. In this crash blog, we're going to talk about how you can inspect your suit at home following a crash, different types of crashes and the types of damage that those crashes will typically entail. And we'll talk about how you can repair your suit right at home. So get you ready for the next event if you aren't able to get that suit into a shop. So check it out, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe, and go fast, be safe.